How do you go from deep self-loathing to truly honoring and loving yourself? How do you go from that extreme to the other? Allow me to share my story. It's not going to take long. I just want to share a very, very small snippet. And that's the part where I was living at night. I was a nocturnal being. I would find myself sleeping at 7 a.m. and waking up at 3 p.m. or even 4, sometimes even 6. And this happened for a long time. It's happened for over a year that I was doing this. And naturally, I hated myself for it. I hated the fact that I believed myself to be incapable of having any kind of drive to do anything during the day. And I had this deep shame that so much had happened in my life that didn't work out the way I wanted to. And all I could do at that time was nothing, really, absolutely nothing. What was I spending all my hours during my nocturnal time doing? I was on YouTube a lot. I would go into binge periods of just watching random videos, either to entertain myself or just to self-soothe. And I would do a lot of snacking. This was for an almost 2-year period. This is between 2023 to close to the end of 2024. Wasn't that long ago. And you'll be very, very surprised what I did to get myself out of that place. I had to learn how to respect the very worst of me. Yeah, that is what I had to do. I had to learn to cultivate real honor and acknowledgement for where I was, because it wasn't for nothing. It wasn't just there to torment me and to make me feel like I was completely worthless. There was a reason for it, number one, and there was a reason that I was benefiting so much from being in that space. And then I slowly started to learn that those hours, because they're the quietest hours of the 24-hour period, I don't have to talk to anyone. I don't have to face anyone. I can control the bit of myself that I had left. But I didn't know that this is what I believed. These are things that were running in the background. What I knew was that I was engaging in this debilitating habit that honestly, I went from being so numb to it to realizing if I don't stop, then I'm going to come to a point where I will self-harm. So I had to start asking myself, what can I do? Because abusing myself verbally didn't help. It only made me feel worse. One day, I woke up at 4 p.m. and I just thought, let me be completely radical. And let me treat myself the same way I would if I woke up at 7 a.m. And so I woke up and I took a shower and I brushed my teeth and I combed my hair and I got dressed up and I went for a walk around the neighborhood. And as the normal thinking of how useless and worthless I was started flooding into my head, I started using that opportunity to reframe my thinking. I started changing my emotional architecture because I realized how important it was for me to do that. If I didn't do that, then we wouldn't be having this discussion right now. I had to actively challenge those thoughts that kept convincing me that I was never going to get out of where I was, that I didn't have anything to contribute to this world, and I had no ability to start something and follow it through to the end. So I didn't have any discipline, all the things that we tell ourselves to stay exactly where we are. I had to literally start challenging those narratives, those self-debilitating, self-abusive, self-loathing narratives that I kept repeating over and over and over again. I had to learn how to interrupt them. And there were times where I had to talk out loud to myself and just say, no, 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 I don't believe you. I don't believe you. I just don't believe the shit you keep shoveling down my throat. I'm done. And then that's when I started replacing those narratives with a new way of talking to myself. And I would tell myself, I know where we are. I fully acknowledge and take responsibility for where I am. But I still believe in myself. I still believe that there is value in my existence, whether there are things going on in my life or whether I'm incapable of making things happen on the outside for now. I still have a lot of value simply because I exist. If you truly believe that you're worthless, then you wouldn't exist. Because creation does not make mistakes. Creation does not make mistakes. You are here for a reason. And I had to start going deep down and looking for that reason. I told myself, I gave myself completely new rules. I said that number one, I was going to accept myself. I was going to practice radical self-acceptance. Number two, anytime I made any kind of mistake, I would forgive myself over and over again. So if I made the same mistake 1,000 times, then I would forgive myself 1,000 times and I would start over again and try again. Number three, I was going to give myself unlimited care, unlimited love, unlimited kindness and compassion. There was going to be no limits to how much care I was going to give myself. And number four, rinse and repeat. Do the same things over and over again until that voice that used to be so prominent, until that voice that used to be so prominent in me, it slowly started to change because of what I started constantly feeding it. Think of where you are right now. If you happen to be in the same place as I was, maybe not necessarily as bad, but you feel like you're stuck and you're really, really unhappy, think about your life. Think about yourself like a car that you are driving. You are the driver. You steer where this car is going to go. But somewhere along the way, you took those keys and you gave them to someone else. You gave them to your spouse. You gave them to your boss. You gave them to your parents. You gave them to your friends. And you told them, I'm going to take the back seat and you drive. And while you are sitting back there not caring about where your life was going, everybody else was taking you where they wanted to go. And then you get mad that they are taking you where they want to go. But you're not in control. Like you made that decision a long time ago that you're no longer in control of this vehicle and where you're headed. So my advice to you is to take back the keys. Take the wheel. I know everybody talks about, Jesus taking the wheel, but you take the wheel of your own life and take real control and start talking to yourself differently. I'm being so serious about this. It really, really works. You have to actively start saying completely different things to yourself than what you're used to. Enough of calling yourself useless. Enough of calling yourself worthless, or this thing is not going to work, or I can't do this. How is it possible for you to end up where you want to be if you're not constantly fueling yourself with what you need? You can't. You have to keep showing love, real love, and kindness and compassion and empathy to yourself. This life isn't easy. You know this life isn't easy. And there's nobody else who's going to do all of this for you. So why don't you start doing it for yourself? And that's what I started doing. And even as I start this channel, it's okay that I have 20 views or I have 10 views. It's okay. That doesn't matter to me anymore. That does not, it doesn't validate who I am anymore. There used to be a time when I would do these videos, I would see all these few views and I would say, oh man, there's no point. I don't have anything of use to share or to give. And I don't believe that anymore. I am a person of real value, and so are you. If you're watching this, I know you know, deep down, even if you can't say it yet, you are a person of really, really monumental value. And you really have to start believing that. Because nobody else is going to tell it to you. Nobody else other than you is going to have the level of conviction that you need, that you are capable of taking yourself where you want to go. Nobody else is going to do that for you but you. And you have everything you need. You have everything you need. I hope that with time that you believe me. I hope at the very least that if you listen to this message, that I've been able to plant seeds in your mind that will somehow start to germinate. And you actually start believing in yourself enough to take yourself where you want to go and become who you're truly meant to be. And that is the highest expression of you. Because there's nobody on this planet like you. There's nobody as unique as you. There's nobody who has what you have. So when are you going to start showing us what you're capable of? I hope you do that. And I hope you do that soon. And I say this with all the love in my heart. Really and truly, I'm rooting for you. Take care of yourself.